Welcome to Inside the Speaker Studio. I'm Rich Gibbons, and today I'm joined by speaker, comedian, consummate event host, and all-around corporate funny guy, Scott Bloom. Welcome, Scott.
Oh, thank you, Rich. Wow, what a great introduction. We're off to a good start.
Yeah. You've been in hundreds, probably thousands of different venues. On the corporate scene, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you on site?
This was kind of unusual. Recently, I was in Orlando. There was a hurricane coming through. We were having in the Orlando Convention Center. So 2 days of Orange County Convention Center was shut down. So 3 days of show had to be compressed into 2, so that was unusual. We didn't have time to rehearse in there, so the first time we're really doing everything is the day of the show. And it's a big event. It's for like 12,000 people, international event. 80% of the people do not speak English. They're going to be listening to me on translation headsets. Obviously, comedy, difficult in general, more difficult when it has to be translated. But I have this one thing in the back pocket. I'm going to say hello to everyone in their own language. 11 different languages I'm going to say good morning to. I'm going to say bonjour. I'm going to say
Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen, right. Zhao Sheng Hao. Ohayo gozaimasu. But moments before I'm going to go on, the head senior VP goes on. So he decides that's how he's going to open up. And it's not till later that day I find out that the translation headsets that were supposed to be in each one of their bags didn't make it because of the hurricane and the confusion. So basically around 12,000 people, 80% of them, figure around 9,600 people, didn't understand a word I said.
Didn't have a clue.
Didn't have a clue. And it just goes to show you that hosting, even comedy, goes sometimes beyond the language. It's a little connection you have with them. They enjoyed me. They didn't
chemistry there.
There was chemistry. Yeah. They just didn't understand a word I said.
Sure. What's the one thing that people don't know about you that when they learn it, they're surprised to hear it?
I have a really good memory. Now, some people might know that because I do this thing where I memorize acronyms, but I do things like memorize an entire deck of cards. I do this thing where if I have enough time, it's a small enough group, I can memorize all the names of the people there, which is kind of a cool trick to do. And the reason why it's surprising is I don't actually have a good memory.
Yeah.
It's about learning how to process things, how to store things. That's what memory is all about.
You cut your teeth on the comedy circuit. Was there, you migrated into the corporate world. Was there a particular moment when you realized, wow, I think I can make a go of it on the corporate side?
Yeah, I remember the first thing I ever did for a corporate event. I got hired to host a game show. They wanted a comedian for that. And I'm used to performing, as a stand-up in the comedy clubs, 8 o'clock at night. This is 8 o'clock in the morning. Whole different venue. Right. You'd think it would be more difficult. But what I really liked when I realized, corporate is for me, first of all, they're sober, so that's good.
Sure, that helps.
Perform material that's a little bit more intelligent, more fun. You got a little bit more of a better interaction because they're not expecting comedy, so it's not like there's a little bit of an attitude. So it allowed me to be creative and do things that are clean, that are about them. So I can customize things, and I didn't have to really go for the lowest hanging fruit.
If you could have dinner with anyone, they don't have to be living, who would it be, and why would you want to pick them?
We're both a fan of Steve Martin.
We are?
I'd have a lunch with Rich Gibbons and Steve Martin.
Sure.
Always been a fan of his. He's been my idol. Albert Brooks, Billy Crystal. So as far as comedians, that's who I'd like to. But I also have a metaphysical side. I like to figure out what's beyond what we can see and touch. Ram Dass, do you know Ram Dass?
Yes.
Former psychologist Richard Alpert went over to India, became Ram Dass. There's an Indian guru who has, I think, an ashram not too far from here, Paramahansa Yogananda.
I've read Autobiography of the Yogi.
Very good. Yeah, Autobiography of Yogi, great book. I would love to have dinner with him.
What would you consider to be your biggest pet peeve?
Those people who cut into line and pretend they're like, I thought the line started right in front of the service agent. I mean, I got to get back. There's people who feel like privileged that they don't have to play by the same rules. Yeah. When I'm flying first class, whether I've been paid to be in first class or I've upgraded first class, I don't like when coach passengers go into the bathroom in first class because I want to go use the restroom and they didn't pay to use that restroom. That's just obnoxious.
How dare they?
Yeah, how dare they? Yeah. They've got the wafting of the cookie smell.
Do you think that being funny is a congenital thing? It's either born with you on the motherboard, or do you think it's a capacity that you can learn?
Being funny is an experiential thing. Something about your family situation, that's what, you talk to any comedian, there's always some problem in the family and we deal with it with humor. You learn comedy from your family. But what you can teach someone is, if they are funny, how to be funny in front of an audience. There's two different kinds of funny. There's funny with your friends, and then funny in front of a group of strangers. Right. And somehow you have to learn to feel as comfortable with the audience as you are with your friends. It takes time, but you can teach someone or train someone to let go of that self-consciousness so that they can, be in the same kind of moment, be able to relate to the audience of 1,000 the same way they would relate to 3 people.
This has been Inside the Speaker Studio with Scott Bloom. I'm Rich Gibbons. Thanks a lot for watching.